Now, 5 a.m. on WKYT this morning, a standoff with Lexington police has ended peacefully, and a woman involved is behind bars. There's quite a disruption in the neighborhood. We'll have the new details on that standoff just ahead.
Also on WKYT, Lexington police say they found possibly some remains, human remains. This comes after pulling cars from the Kentucky River. Those details coming up.
And a piece of Powell County is now dedicated to a Marine. We'll have that story and your Kentucky forecast as we roll toward the weekend. All coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you bright and early this morning. I'm Andrea Walker.
And I'm Bill Bryant, and it is Wednesday, October 26th. We're at a hump day, rolling through this last full week of October, and it feels more like, summer.
It does. Once you get into the day, it's a little chilly
Not
this
right
morning.
now. That's right. That's right.
A little chilly right now.
Good point. Let's check in with Micah right now, who's keeping track of things. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, it is one of those cool starts to the day as you're walking outside. That sweater will be needed, but it's not overall cold. The reason being, we have a front to the north of us throwing off some showers around Indianapolis, which in fact actually throws off some cloud cover in our region. So that cloud cover really helps us out overnight. We're there in the 40s for the most part, and not just 40s, but we're talking mid to upper 40s. So then we get in towards your afternoon, 73 degrees, extremely pleasant conditions in the forecast later on today. And there's a weak cold front that will be rolling through overnight. That's one of the focuses of the forecast. And not only that, but that Halloween weekend, I mean, if you have anything going on this weekend, better stick to it. I mean, a really nice Saturday, Sunday in store. But what does that mean for Halloween? I'm going to have that coming up at your 7-day in just a few minutes.
And we'll see you then. Thank you.
We're learning new details about a standoff with Lexington police that lasted for hours.
Police say that Robert Holbert was involved in that standoff near the intersection of Versailles Road and Delmont Drive last night. WKYT's Mike Byer is live now with the details on this as we join him. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Yes, as a result of that standoff, Robin Holbert is now behind bars this morning, and according to her arrest citation, she's expected to be arraigned later today here at Fayette County District Court. Now, it all started around 7:30 last night. This is when police say they spotted a stolen car and made a traffic stop. They say Holbert pulled into an apartment complex off Versailles Road, but she eventually got out of the car and tried to run away. Police say they tasered her twice, but she wouldn't stop. At one point, police say she pulled out a gun on officers. Police were eventually able to corner her in an area near Versailles Road and Delmont Drive. This is when the standoff began. Police say Holbert was standing on the porch of a vacant home during the standoff, a standoff that lasted for nearly 2 hours and until a police negotiator was able to get her to drop her weapon just after 9 o'clock. She was then arrested. Now, Holbert faces a long list of charges. They include theft of motor vehicle registration plate, fleeing or evading police, and wanton endangerment. She's expected to answer to those charges later today here at District Court. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you. New on WKYT this morning, Lexington police say they have possibly found human remains. A crew pulled cars from the river at the Valley View Ferry over the weekend. Police say that material now is to be tested to make some identification, but we're told that a crew will be heading back to the river today to continue searching in the area. The Valley View Ferry will be closed today starting at 8 o'clock this morning.
Lexington police still have not made any arrests after a man armed with a gun walked into a couple's home. It happened on Culpeper Road near the Chevy Chase area, but the husband told us his wife was downstairs when the man walked in, pointed a gun at her and told her to get down on the floor. The husband heard his wife scream and said he ran downstairs and saw the man running out the back door. He says he ran after the suspect and soon saw another man running with him. Police think the suspects got into a car and drove off. Neighbors say they've noticed other burglaries in that area in recent weeks.
It should be crazy, but it's happened so much recently that it's becoming somewhat normal. I was just talking to my neighbor recently, and we've had so many break-ins and backyard break-ins and thefts that it's becoming sort of the standard, and it shouldn't be.
Lexington police have not made any arrests for the burglary. They say they don't have a good description of either suspect.
And Lexington police are now looking for a third person who faces charges in connection to a home invasion. Police say they have an arrest warrant out for Joseph Fain. He is facing a robbery charge after last week's home invasion. Police say multiple people forced their way into a home on Red Mile Road as part of the drug-related robbery. And we're told that 2 suspects were shot during the robbery. Police say more charges are pending, and they say another suspect, Demetrian Boaz, turned himself in on Friday.
Police in Russell County tell us they found drugs and thousands of dollars in cash at a Russell Springs home. Deputies say the woman who lives at the home, Dana Sandusky, is charged with drug trafficking, and deputies say more charges will be filed. While serving a search warrant at Sandusky's home, deputies say they found several ounces of meth along with 3 grams of suspected heroin and other drug paraphernalia. They say they also found more than $6,000 in cash. We're learning more about a painting stolen from a art gallery dedicated to boxing legend Muhammad Ali. Police say this man came into the Muhammad Ali Center over the weekend. They think he ripped a print signed by the artist Leroy Neiman off the wall and walked out. Police say the print is worth $5,000. They say they are working on getting the artwork back from the man, but they have not released the man's name.
Well, the Cleveland Indians shut out the Chicago Cubs in Game 1 of the World Series.
The Indians have a home field advantage again tonight. Michelle Chamberlain is at our WKYT Alert Desk with the details.
Yeah, it was a big sports night in Cleveland right before the first pitch of the Cleveland Cavaliers held their NBA championship ring ceremony down the street at Quicken Loans Arena. And then the World Series opener. It was a sellout crowd of 38,000 at Progressive Field. The Cubs looking for their first championship since 1908. And the Indians haven't won the series since 1948. And Game 1 belonged to the Tribe. Big game for Indians pitcher Corey Kluber. He had 9 strikeouts, the most in a postseason game in Cleveland team history. Kluber came out of the game at the top of the 7th, and the Indians getting a bit of a jam. Cubs find a way to get runners at the corners, 2 outs, full count, but Andrew Miller gets the strikeout. Then, in the bottom of the 8th, Cleveland's Roberto Perez knocks it out of the park with a 3-run home run, and Cleveland wins Game 1 6-0 as the Indians pitch their 4th shutout in 9 games this postseason. What a game it was. Game 2 is tonight in Cleveland. The start time has been moved up 1 hour because of a threat of rain. The game will start at 7:08. Bill?
Okay, we'll see where it goes from here. Thank you, Michelle. Some people in Harlan County are worried that a cemetery could fall into a nearby river. They say for months they've watched as pieces of land at the Wicks Howard Cemetery in Loyal slid down a hill and right into the Cumberland River. And they worry that the graves, some of which date back hundreds of years, could be the next to fall.
I would hope that if something like this happened to me, that my descendants would want to see me properly buried and honored.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says a design flaw caused the damage at the cemetery. The Corps has agreed to fix it, but they're waiting on a permit to come through to do that. And the Corps says it will cost $3 million to fix the landslide, another $30,000 to move 6 graves.
A fountain in Powell County is now dedicated to a Marine who died in a crash.
Tyler Brewer died in January of 2015. His family and friends raised money to pay for the fountain at the Stanton City Park. The city of Stanton paid for the cost of installing it. Brewer's mothers told us that this fountain is a fitting tribute.
And you know, he played football on this field, and I think it will be great, you know, people walking at the field or at the ball games that come over and see this and say, oh yeah, I remember Tyler. And so he spent a lot of time here, so I'm glad it's here. And
yesterday was a special day for Brewer's family. It would have been his birthday, and they wanted to make sure the fountain was ready by that day.
Tribute there. Well, Halloween has officially settled in on the campus of Transylvania University here in Lexington.
Spooky. Hundreds of jack-o'-lanterns are now on display on the steps of Old Morrison. They were lit last night as part of Pumpkin Mania. People on the Transy campus carved lots of pumpkins, but others were carved by people out in the community. And there was a carving contest for children. The jack-o'-lanterns will be on display through Halloween night. Looks like a good time over there last night.
Yes, some pretty impressive carving going
on
there. I know. That's a lot of pumpkins.
It is. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. It's your Wednesday, everybody. We're glad you're here with us.
Still ahead, the fashion industry is hoping to cash in on the smartwatch craze. We'll take a closer look at their plan coming up in about 10 minutes.
And also ahead on WKYT, we have some good news to share with you on your Wednesday. A 5-year-old boy in North Carolina just loves giving out free hugs. What about that? It's a great story. And it's coming up after Micah's forecast.
We got some 30s outside early this morning, but it's actually going to be much warmer as we get in toward the afternoon. We'll go over that forecast to show you some rain overnight into tomorrow, and also that big warm up for the weekend. We'll have all that coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We're there in the 40s for the most part early this morning. There is a frost advisory for eastern Kentucky, but that's mainly for just some patchy spots. No widespread frost expected, so just heads up for that as you're heading out the door this morning. It will be chilly, don't get me wrong. But we're just not seeing those widespread 30s this morning. 73 later on this afternoon, and it's a really nice day in Source. One of those days that you're dress prepared for some chilly air early in the mornings, and then toward the afternoon you'll want some shorts on and a short sleeve shirt. That's just the way it's going to go today, and really for the weekend too. The weekend actually looks really, really nice. Off toward the evening and overnight hours, clouds will be on the increase. Here comes some rain, and here's 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. For the most part, we're going to stay dry overnight. But I would say early in the morning, maybe 3, 4, 5 a.m., you can start to see the first showers in far eastern or far western Kentucky, that is. And then it slides into our viewing area as we get throughout the morning. Early afternoon, you can obviously see. Here's noontime. Obviously, it's not a lot of rain. Don't expect a lot out of this. Maybe 1/10 of an inch, and that's about it. So it's not even enough, really, to water your yards. You're going to need the sprinklers out there the next couple of days still going because we're just not seeing that much rain involved with this. But watch this, okay? We reached 70s down south. Then that front passes on through. Look at 5 p.m. We're in the 70s down south and 50s up north. So that cool air rushes on in through the day on Thursday. We'll actually start off there in the mid-60s and finishing off there in the mid-50s up toward the north. Then that rain rushes on through. We'll call it a 30-40% chance tomorrow. Obviously, not everybody gets in on the mix. And like I said, if you do, it's not going to be much. Friday morning, we start off in the 30s and 40s, and then we head toward the afternoon there in the 60s. Friday will be rather cool. That means Friday night football will be on the cool side. You'll need that blanket, that light coat. But then on Saturday and Sunday, boy, did we ramp it back up. So we're talking 73 today. We'll get some wind in here. It actually feels quite nice. On your Thursday, a shower or two rolls through the region, especially during the morning and early afternoon hours. And then on Friday, we're still sitting there in the 60s, but it'll be rather cool there as we head off toward the evening hours there for Friday night football. Saturday, Sunday, guys, a lot of us doing, say, trunk or treating there, heading out with the kiddos. And then on Halloween, sitting there at 73 degrees, I mean, you're talking about some really, really nice air there for the weekend off toward Halloween. We talked about this earlier that this doesn't bother us. I mean, 70s will take any time of the year.
Not a bad thing.
If we had 70s all year long, it would be okay. But the problem is it's on Halloween. You kind of want it to feel like Halloween. And I don't think it's going to feel like Halloween, but nonetheless, you get to wear our outfits. Don't have to cover them up with jackets.
That's what I said. No turtlenecks under your costume.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
It'll be all right.
And by the evening hours, the temperature will start to slide a little.
That's true.
So, you know, sundown is coming earlier. You notice
That's
that.
right.
And the sunrise
We
later.
like it.
Yeah, it is right. It works for us, right? 5:15 on WKYT this morning.
And this next story will get your Wednesday going on a good note.
It will. A 5-year-old boy from North Carolina just loves to give out hugs.
I feel good when I hug people.
Yeah? What makes you feel good about that?
I like making the world a better place.
As Jaden Hooker, who did a pretty good job a few weeks ago when Charlotte was all in turmoil. Jaden put on a sign and took his mission right to the police station. He got the idea from Ken, known by millions as the Free Hugs Guy. Ken flew across the country to meet Jaden and give him one very special hug.
Now, is that not the cutest thing you've ever
I just
seen?
love it.
Don't you love when children step up in times, you know, it's a tough time there, but children are able to kind of bring you back and show you what's important, teach you lessons.
Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
Good
He's a
little story
cutie
there.
pie.
He sure is. Hey, it's good to have you with us. Make that a part of your day, right? Go
That's
out there
right.
and be nice to everybody. More news is coming up for you on WKYT.
When we come back, we'll take a look at your money.
Good morning. We're rolling toward 5:20 on your Wednesday, and we're glad you're here on WKYT this morning.
We sure are.
One major automaker now has to pay one of the biggest settlements in U.S. history.
And Apple may have impressed Wall Street, but the numbers are still low. Kenneth Craig has the latest on your money.
Volkswagen will now have to pay out the largest auto scandal settlement in U.S. history. A federal judge has approved a $15 billion settlement for claims following the emissions cheating controversy. VW owners can get cash payments between $5,100 and $10,000 each for returning their vehicles. 475,000 owners can start getting those buybacks next week. Stocks fell on Tuesday. The Dow dropped 53. The Nasdaq slid 26. Apple sold more iPhones than investors on Wall Street expected in the last quarter, but that was still fewer than a year ago. Revenue, however, fell 9%. The company released its quarterly earnings report late Tuesday and is now predicting better than expected revenue for the holiday season. The fashion industry is hoping to cash in on the smartwatch craze. On Tuesday, Fossil launched a new line of hybrid smartwatches across high-end designers, including Emporio Armani, Kate Spade, and Michael Kors. The accessories look like analog watches, but have a number of built-in features like activity tracking and call and text alerts. That's your Money Watch report. For more, go to cbsmoneywatch.com. In New York, I'm Kenneth Craig.
All right, so it's a traditional looking watch, but
that's what I was like. It looks like a watch to me.
I don't know what a hybrid watch was. Now we know. All right, Uber drivers in Texas are doing more than driving people from point A to point B. They're also delivering flu shots.
Pretty cool. Yesterday in Houston, Uber drivers delivered the shots along with a registered nurse to administer them. Uber's users, could order the shots by requesting the health option on the Uber app between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Uber doesn't have numbers, but tweeted that demand was pretty high.
Well, it's one way to get it done, right?
How interesting.
For people on the move.
There you go.
We're moving along.
Actually, they're just sitting there waiting for you to come to them.
That's true, too. Yeah.
How funny.
Then maybe they get there right.
There you go.
5:22 is the time Wednesday morning on WKYT, and we have a lot more coming up. All of our top stories, and some of them are developing, coming up at the bottom of the hour. Hope you can stay with us for that.
Sports is on the way next.
I'm WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris, getting you updated on your morning. We're sitting there in the 30s and 40s again this morning. It's another start where you could have some patchy frost as possible, but no widespread frost expected. So we go throughout a cool morning, head in toward the afternoon at 73 degrees, very pleasant conditions. So it's one of those days that it starts off really cool, but actually finishes off really nice. About a 30-degree swing from morning to afternoon. Let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Rex Chapman will be on the air with the Kentucky Wildcats this season. He will replace Oscar Combs on the Texas Roadhouse Countdown to Tip-Off on the UK Radio Network. He will work alongside Dave Baker. Rex, of course, a UK legend. He scored more than 1,000 points in just 2 seasons at Kentucky. He was introduced yesterday on WKYT 630 News on the CW Lexington. Rex has been known to stir the pot a little bit, and we asked him how critical he will be.
Oh, overcritical. Yeah. I'm already hearing, I said earlier, I'm already hearing Cal may take the Metcalfe County job. See, you knew I was going to get it in. I'll be honest, but look, I'm a Kentucky guy. I live and die it. So I'm true blue Wildcat, and I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun with this. It's going to be very different, I'm sure, for many people. Oscar was so good doing this for 2 decades, and he sent me a sweet message last night. He's just the best, but I'm excited about this.
We're also excited about college basketball last night. The Georgetown College Tigers hosting Central Penn. Tigers' Quan Poindexter feeds Chris Coffey, who lays it in. Coffey with 4 points, 7 boards. The lob to Coffey, but it's deflected, and Poindexter is there on the spot to muscle it in. He had a game-high 22. And to finish off the action, former Henry Clay star Jeremiah Tisdale takes it all the way in, lays it up, and Georgetown wins by 20, 85-65. Game 1 of the World Series last night, Cubs and Indians. Cleveland starter Corey Kluber was on. 8 of the first 9 outs of the game were strikeouts. That is a new World Series record. He went 6 strong innings, shutting out the Cubbies. It's 2-0 Tribe when Roberto Perez faces Cubs starter John Lester. That ball is crushed, clears the yellow line, 3-0 Indians. Chicago had their chances, bases loaded in the 7th, but the ALCS MVP Andrew Miller strikes out David Ross to end the threat. Again in the 8th, runners on the corners. Kyle Schwarber, he gone. Miller gets the strikeout again. The Indians win game 1. 6-0, your final score. And that is a look at sports for this morning. Hope you have a great day.